All right, everybody, welcome back into another edition of Keeping Up with Snead State Athletics. And Coach, we've had a championship since I seen you, brother. I've been doing the state tournament, regional tournament. You kind of get everybody caught back up with what you've had going on here at Snead.
So I know we didn't meet last Monday. I think last Monday we went to Coastal North for regular season and got beat up pretty bad. They got a really good team, and we went down there, and I wouldn't say a hostile environment, but for JUCO, it's a pretty tough environment down there. And, they're big and physical, and we're kind of smaller and faster, and just didn't go our way. We didn't play our best, but they made it tough on us. And I think they beat us by 9. It felt like it was worse than that. Basically, we were playing for the number 1 seed in the tournament. And so when we lost that one, we had no chance of winning number 1. Actually, I think that was 2 weeks ago, because the following last Monday we went to Selma. That's when we didn't get to meet. I think the last time we talked, we were going to Coastal North.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, so we went to Coastal North the last day that me and you talked. We lost that night. We came back and we played our last home game that following Thursday and beat Selma in that one. And then last Monday we had a makeup game with Selma from when it was MLK Day and there was some bad weather. So we beat Selma to end the season, back-to-back games, and started our tournament on Friday night.
Y'all started in as a 2 seed, correct?
Yeah, we were the 2. And the way our conference works, he doesn't let everybody in the tournament. You have to earn your way in by being one of the top 6 teams in the tournament. So the 3 and 6 played, and the 4 and 5 played. So we played the winner of the 3-6 game, and which was Marion. Marion had 3 guys the first semester that wasn't eligible due to transfer rules. So when they got eligible, their season tremendously changed. They were 0-11, 0-12,
Wow.
something like that at one time. They finished with a winning record. They were really good by the end of the season. They had beaten Coastal North in the regular season in an overtime game. So we went into that one, a little worried. And we played one of our better games that Friday night. I think we beat them by 21 in the semifinals. So then next day we played Coastal North in the championship game, who had beaten Reed, who, watching Coastal North and Reed play really was scary, because they had Reed 70-49 before they pulled their starters out.
Wow.
And Reed's a tough team. Like roster-wise, they've got really good players. So going into Saturday, I knew we'd have to be really good, and so we had, I think, a good game plan. And the thing that we did was our guys actually followed what we wanted to do defensively, made them take, shots that we wanted them to take, not shots they wanted to take. And then another thing, when you play them, they're really big and physical, and they guard you on the perimeter really hard and get into you, and they turn you over. And they don't play super fast, but they get a lot of points off turnovers in the half court. And we didn't have many of those. We didn't, we gave up some here and there, but not enough to let them get a big advantage with it. So that kept their scoring down. I think at halftime we were up 40-29. And like I said, we were playing about as good as we could play, and held them to 29, which basically meant, they didn't get, probably half their points were off of transition, off of getting steals, that kind of stuff. And it's not like they press; they just get out and really getting physical with you. But I told the team at halftime, they're going to make a run. We don't need to work for 20 minutes to give that away in 2 minutes. But sometimes it don't matter what you say; it happens. And
that's right.
So it was 40-29 at half, and the first 5 minutes it got to 44-44.
Wow.
So they outscored us like 15-4, or actually 17-4. They wiped out all that.
Coming out of the gate.
Wow. And it wasn't like it was like boom, boom. Well, their big man stepped out and hit a couple threes, and they made some plays. And I think offensively we got a little bit out of what we should have. We got a little bit wild, turned it over some. But we got it back together, started playing like we were playing in the first half, and got about a 5-point lead and just stretched it out, and finished the game really, really well.
Was there something in a timeout said or something that got the guys refocused, or was it a shot that was hit?
There was one timeout, and this team, I want to brag on them here. They've been frustrating at times this year. I don't know if you could tell in our interviews, but talent-wise, we've got the talent. We don't have the size at some positions that I wish we had, but talent-wise, we've got it. One thing that this team has lacked all year is the coming together as a group and like being like a real team. It's not like they don't like each other. It's like there's a lot of individuals instead, you know. So there was a time when they started coming back where I felt like we were kind of pulling apart. And, you know, I did tell them in the timeout, hey, guys, we've got to be together. You know, right now you're blaming this guy for this and you're mad at this guy. We got to be together.
You got to get rid of all that.
You know, like last night in the first half we were together when everything's good. We can't be front runners. You know, I talk about front runners a lot of times. You can't just be good and everybody all, you know, kumbaya when you're winning. You know, when they're making the runs, when we got to really be together. And I don't know if that had any effect, but, you know, they came back out and made the plays that we needed to make. And like I said, we got it up to 5 or 6, and then once it got under 5 minutes, we put it away.
Good.
So it was a lot of fun because you know, this was one that we went into that we just didn't know. Like last year, I knew we had the best team.
Yeah.
We trailed for 35 minutes. It was really, really tough, but I knew that we had the best team. And this year, you know, Coastal North team-wise was like really, really good. Like I wouldn't trade rosters with them. I like their players better as individuals, but as a team, they were really good. And I think they had only lost 1 game since Christmas. We'd lost 2. Both of ours toward them. I think they had lost 1 game to Marion since Christmas.
Wow.
So both of us were on a tremendous run. And their coach does a wonderful job. He was a Division I assistant coach for years in Texas. He retired from Texas. He's from Alabama, but he was at Sam Houston State and some junior colleges in Texas, and he retired from there. Came back here and was just going to work for the school as as like a dean or something like that, traveling to the different campuses. And their coach left, and they offered him the job and made it tougher on all of us because he's a really good coach, really good guy, better guy than anything. But you know, I respect him, and he's really hard to coach against.
What was the guys' attitudes like? Obviously, they're super happy when they won. Was there a sense of relief? Was it, we just did this?
This team has been so odd. Like, they don't really get excited. If they do, they don't show it. But, like, I sensed something Friday. Like, they had a little bit different attitude and personality about them before the game and at halftime. And then after the game, they were actually celebrating. And these guys really hadn't celebrated much this year, but, you know, they're celebrating.
More business-like.
You know, yeah, they just been taking care of stuff, but no emotion. Now, they had more emotion Friday night after the game, like excitement that they're going to the championship. You know? Right. And then Saturday, you know, halftime, there was a big sense of excitement at halftime. I kept stressing, hey, it's just a half now, just a half. But then after the game, like the excitement, something I hadn't seen from this group. This team's just been different. Not in a bad way. It's just coaches, you know, like, I'm a little bit old school, but I do know that I have to adjust to every different team I have and every different player because everybody's not going to be my mentality. You know, like everybody's not going to think like me. You know, that's one of the problems I had at the start of the season. I just assumed this team was similar to last year's, and then about a week before we started, I realized, no, they're not. And not only are they not, they're not ready for the first week. Like, these guys are not ready. Right. I didn't do a great job of getting them ready because I just assumed they were taking care of stuff that they hadn't been. You know, we wasn't in shape as good as we should have been. We wasn't. So they have to be coached a little harder. This group has to be coached a little harder. This group probably doesn't like me as much as the last year's group because I've had to be harder on them. I have to be told what to do a lot. But don't have any bad kids. Like, it's just a different mentality that they have. But, you know, the way I feel like, you know, them as a team, and even with me, we've came together so much more in the last week, and I feel just a sense of excitement from me. You know, I don't know if I should or not, but from day one, when I start recruiting them, I talk about a championship, you know, because that's what we play for. That's right. So, you know, that could have been on their mind all year. All we're worried about is winning the championship. But you still got to, each day still means something, you know. Each day, you need to be excited to be at practice. You need to be excited to play your next game instead of just kind of going through things. And, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, I think we just kind of get through stuff sometimes with this group. But this weekend, you know, they came together with the excitement level.
Well, Coach, you couldn't pick a better time for that to happen.
Yeah, It's been really stressful, like I say, because they didn't have that excitement mentality that coaches might want.
Right.
3 years ago, we started this run, and when I took the job in 2016-17 season, Snead had been really bad for a while. I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody's program or anything, but it had been 28 years since Snead had won a championship.
Wow.
That first year, there was an excitement level.
None of these guys was even thought about being alive.
Yeah. So that first year that I was the head coach, there was an excitement level because we won 19 games. And, they'd won 8 the year before.
Right.
And we had a lot of good freshmen on that team. And the next year, we won the championship. And that excitement level was just huge, So we had about a 5-year stretch, a 4-year stretch after that, where we were close but couldn't win it. And then that group that we brought in the 22-23 season, you didn't have to coach those guys hard ever. Before practice, they were ready to go.
They're ready.
Foaming at the mouth, wanting to compete against each other.
Right.
And I had that group for 2 years and won 2 championships. And this year's team just didn't have that same passion as far as practice and all that. So I had to adjust. They have to adjust to me sometimes. I think there's been days this team hated me. That's part of. You can't be their best friend.
Oh yeah, you can't.
There's been days where I didn't like them. I told them the other night after we won. I said, we came through a lot. I said, there's been days and weeks where I didn't like y'all. I mean,
for sure.
Y'all were driving me nuts. As far as how do I motivate you, how do I get you to buy in. But it did. It came together at the right time.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, what's it looking like moving forward right now? What have we got on the agenda?
We were the state champs, the ACCC conference champions. Unfortunately, that doesn't automatically get us to the national tournament. We go to Tallahassee to play the winner of the Sun Lakes Conference and what's called the Gulf South District Championship. The team we play is the team that beat us last year. They're the best team out of Florida, and we did. You put plans in place. Sometimes it all comes together. Sometimes you did it for no reason. But we went to Tallahassee for a jamboree, so this team could play on that court. So we went on a Saturday to Columbus and played in a jamboree and stayed overnight and went to Tallahassee the next day.
So they're familiar.
So that we're familiar with that. So we've been to Tallahassee already this year and played. I went to a little tournament, which is in junior college. It's just called an invitational or whatever. You know who you're playing. It's not a championship or whatever. But we went and played that team already this year. Now, it didn't turn out good for us, but we did familiarize ourselves with their team. We know what they look like. So we went to Jacksonville, Florida, played a Friday night, Saturday night, and then played Jacksonville on Sunday before we left. So they had an advantage. They was at their place. We'd played 2 nights in a row. They had the day off before. They're really good, though. I mean, they were ranked 8th in the country. They beat us by 3 in the district championship last year. I think we're both very, very good, JUCO teams that deserve to be in the national tournament. And I know if we win, they're still going to get to go. They'll get an at-large bid. If they beat us, we would be probably right outside the window of getting an at-large bid. We were ranked in the top 25 the last 2 polls, and then we dropped out right before the Coastal North, right after they beat us. There's only 4 at-larges that get invited. So we would be really close. Just depends on what the committee says. Their conference is tough, and our non-conference schedule was extremely tough.
Right.
I mean, we played 8 games versus Division I teams. We traveled down to Florida. Like I said, they were number 8. We played the number 17 team down there and beat them. Played a really tough schedule just to prepare ourselves for this. So, we went to Tallahassee and played already. We played the Jacksonville team already, so that we're more prepared this year. So, we'll see how it goes. We'll start practicing today in about an hour, getting ready for it. Probably the first couple of days we'll just be working on our stuff, and then
That's right.
Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday shoot around going over the things that they do. But they're familiar with them. We played them. They're a lot of sophomores. I think they were peak. They're still really, really good, but in November they were way above everybody else because they'd been in their system for 2 years, and same team that beat us last year with the exception of one player.
Maybe a little motivation for you though, for the guys that's on that squad last year.
Yeah, I mean, like we went to Coastal North and they came here and we lost both of those and we beat them in the tournament. So there's no doubt we can win this game.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that if we go down and play like we can play, like we played here late in the year, that we can win the game. I have zero doubt about that. They're going to be really good also. It could be a great basketball game.
Good. Coach, I appreciate you sitting in with us, catching everybody up to speed with everything. Congratulations on the championship and looking forward to seeing how things turn out for you guys moving forward.
Okay, maybe we can do this again next month.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll be making plans to go to Illinois because if we win that game, we'll be in the final 20 that goes to Illinois.
Dude, wouldn't that be awesome? Would y'all fly up there, Coach? Or?
No, so we've been to the Division I tournament twice, and it's 15 hours away. And we chartered a bus for those 2 trips. But the reason we don't fly is because trying to figure out getting 20 people on a plane,
right,
and the logistics of that, and then not knowing when you're coming back because if you win, you keep playing.
That's right.
So our commissioners always said best thing you can do is just.
Which Illinois is not a long trip.
No, it's 7.5 hours.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, the Kansas trip is a 2-day trip.
Yeah.
And like I said, it probably cost us more to charter a bus than it would to fly, but as far as knowing when you're leaving, because we have to stay in a hotel, like we cut the trip in half, like we'd stay in Arkansas for the night and then drive the rest of the way the next day. So it's not a money thing as far as the charter bus. It's a logistics.
Yeah, because you don't know when you come home.
When you're coming home, and then plus when you get out there, you have to rent vans if you don't have a bus to be able to get back and forth to places.
Correct. That's true.
And all that. So,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so we'll take a bus to Illinois if we're fortunate enough to get there, and we'll have fun with it. Like there ain't many teams still playing, man.
That's right.
There's a lot of teams that's done. So
that's a blessing all in itself.
That's what I tell our guys. I told them last Friday. I was like, hey, there's only 2 of us left in this state, and now there's only 1 of us left. So every day you got's a blessing, man.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. Coach, congratulations to you, your staff, your players, and looking forward to seeing you next Monday. I'm going to go ahead and claim it.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.